you are your own brand. How we see the world determines by who we are, but how the world see us determines by how we brand ourselves, how we present and position ourselves. So personal branding is all about how do we develop a personal presence,
Right.
so that, yeah, it's the personal presence that we would like to develop, and that is the personal brand that I would say. And that's the reason why it is so important to back to the core to establish our brand identity, because we are our own brand. Yeah.
Amazing. We are our own brand. That's a very a deep sentence. And so if I can ask a further question, be our own brand. That means that I am my own brand, right? If I'm an employee, I'm the brand. If I'm the entrepreneur, I'm the brand. So is that mean that I need to, as we talk in the corporate language, that the brand need investment in order to make it visible, in order to grow, so do we need to sort of invest in our brand as well, or does it grow on its own?
What do we mean by we are our own brand is, for example, it's regardless of what you do or which company you are in, you
Right.
are responsible for what you do. You are accountable for what you do. You are accountable for the choices and decisions you make every single day. And that's the reason why nobody can force you to do things that you don't want to do. And we are our own brand, and we can have the choice
All right.
to live the way we want and to live the brand. Yeah. So personal branding, besides, is about developing your personal presence. It is, in a simpler term, it's an authentic. It should be an authentic manifestation of what we believe.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
So that's personal brand. So it guides us how to make decisions every single day, and that is our core, what we believe.
All
It
right.
is, yeah.
What the people believe. So that's the question that I'll ask. The second question is, a brand for a company is like a reputation for a person. You earn reputation by trying to do things well, by trying to do things in its own way. So like, the reputation is, that's how you earn the reputation by doing things. Am I right?
Yeah. So yeah, it's about ultimately why we want to invest in personal branding is to build the reputations. When you have the reputation, you can build the trust. People will trust you because you yourself is the brand that can be trusted. But it starts with how do we identify our brand identity? What makes you different? A lot of time when people ask, who are you? I find that this question is the most challenging question to ask. But once you establish your identity, that comes easily to you. That's where I would say that your brand identity first comes from what you believe. It should be an authentic manifestations of what you do, what you say, what you do, and it goes back to what you believe, and that's where you can add values
All right.
to the people. Yeah, because I always believe your vibes attract your tribes.
Say that again. Your wife attracts your.
Yeah, the vibes that you have attracts the people who have the similar vibes, and that's where you can build your community and it grows bigger and bigger, and that is the momentum that we want in terms of first establish what matters to you the most. That's the identity and what differentiate you from others, and that's where you can attract the right people, and that you have the meaningful community where you build meaningful relationship, and that's where the community will grow. How do you grow your brand? With the right people.
All right. So how? Then my next question would be, Angie, as you mentioned, that trust, develop the trust in the community. So the people start trusting you, and trust come from the continuous doing, a continuous way of doing things, consistency. So when you say something and then you do that thing, and then people start trusting in you for what you are saying. So my point would be how it can be helpful for the employees. The employees, how can they brand themselves? So many employees working in an organization on a different level of positions. How it is important for an employee, or how it is important. We have so many people we have from across the world. We have joined from different employees and entrepreneurs. So I'd like to ask you how it is important, the personal branding for the employees who are working in different culture, different departments. Does it helpful for them or is not?
I believe it goes back to the same as in personal brand. Why do we need to identify our identity is so that we are confident in what we want, right? A lot of people, personal branding start with knowing who you are, and that is called self-image and your self-esteem. If
Okay.
you do not know how, yeah, if you are not confident with yourself, if you don't believe in yourself, who will? And that's where the core of personal branding is your self-image. How do you see yourself?
All right.
And that's where, yeah, the confidence we need to start with first, right? So that is self-image, and that is, and then you take care of your appearance, because besides you are being confident, some of people, they are very confident in themselves, but people are not confident in them. But why? There must be something about the image that need to improve, right?
All right.
Yeah.
So,
So there are 5 elements of aspects when it comes to personal branding, but it starts with the core, which is the self-image, which is the inner image. And then ultimately what we want to achieve, like what you say just now, is correct, which is the reputation, which is the proven image, where we do things consistently over time, where we build trust, our community grow, our brand grow. Yeah.
all right. All right. So, if I understand that correctly, let me rephrase your question, your statement that the image branding is basically, it comes from within. So your inner image first you understand yourself, and then the outer image that comes from the reputation, that the work that you do consistently, and the people know you from your work rather than you saying about your work, but the work saying something about you. Is that correct?
Yeah.
All right. So, Angie, my question would you be, for example, we're living in the disruption age, where so many things coming up on our way from different social media, Facebook, LinkedIn, Twitter, Instagram, and our mobile, and have so many things coming up in the, into our way. And we are already busy in doing so many other things. How to remain relevant in this disruption age? As an employee, as an entrepreneur, if I'm an employee, so how to remain relevant with my area of expertise, or if I'm an entrepreneur, how to remain relevant in my area of expertise of services in this disruption age. How would what would you say on this?
Yeah, to remain relevant is you need to continuously, to me it's very simple, continuously learn,
Okay.
unlearn, and also relearning. So yeah, in the way, okay, when it comes to identity, you need to know what are things that you are good at,
Okay.
what are things that you love to do, and what are things that you're good at, you love to do, and you can earn money,
Okay.
right? Yeah, and what matters to you in life. That is your guiding, the principle and values in your life that guide your decisions every single day.
All right.
Yeah. So that is the core of the personal branding. And I believe that there is one question in the chat room that from Umar, that he would like to us to define what is the objective of this talk precisely.
Yeah.
So yeah, I this the when I was invited to share this topic with when Ali invited me for this talk, so the intention is to share with everyone what does personal branding means. But personal branding has been a very cliche work to a lot of people. A lot of people like comes to us like certified image consultant, I want to improve my image. But people, a lot of them are focusing on their appearance alone. But personal branding is not just about how you look. It starts with your core, which is your identity. And then you can improve other aspects of your image, from how you look, the appearance, how you communicate, and how you make other people feel, and your proven image reputation. And that is all personal branding is all about. But today we'll be focused on the core of personal branding.
That's
Yeah. And in order to stay relevant, have continuously learning, and to in today's the digitalization's world, right? We are going to digital, and that's where we are here meeting each other virtually. One of the key things about personal branding nowadays is social media has become one of the best platforms for you to brand yourself, regardless of whether you are employee or you're entrepreneur, right? So one of the key skills that we need is storytelling. And a lot of the entrepreneurs, they are using digital storytelling to help them to grow their brand, build their brand.
All
Right?
right.
So there are three key elements that we need to pay attention in today's era is, number one is what we can do as a people, what we can do in leverage on the technology we are having right now, and how do we streamline the process, given that we have so many social medias to manage nowadays, and consistency is key.
All
Yeah.
right.
So it is about the mindset, the skill set, and also the tool sets that we can leverage on at this moment in time.
Absolutely. So you mentioned about the digital media and that. So we have another question from Shuja Ahmed, our participant here. Question is, how do you manage personal branding in digital or online world? You know, and what are the key challenges in branding and brand imaging for online branding?
How do you manage personal branding in digital online? Okay. All right. I would. The first question is, I would say that you need to identify what is the purpose of using certain social media. Different social media online platform, right, serve different purposes. For example, LinkedIn is more on professional networking, and people actually, a lot of the business people are building relationship without actually meeting face to face in LinkedIn, and they can collaborate further, right? Why it is so important to identify your unique brand identity, which is what matters to you most, is also is because that's where you can differentiate what are the things that you're good at, what you're not, and that is the what differentiate you from others, and that's where you can attract collaborators who are good at different areas or things that comes together, partners, and do something greater together.
All right.
And that's what makes us stand out, and you can do that in social media right now. This is the perfect time to brand ourselves without even going out and meet people face to face, and you can cast your net wider, yeah, in
Amazing.
social media, because we, yep.
So
And
Angie, we definitely can, use the social media for that. But for the other part of the question would be that at times we're using social media, but when it comes to the personal branding, or when it comes to the branding, we do not know, or many of us do not know how to do it rightly. So what would you say on that? In terms of sort of digital media or social media that we're using for our personal brands, or the entrepreneurs are using for their organization, how to use it effectively, what are the strategy, or what are the normal challenges that the people face in terms of branding, with respect to the branding?
yeah, perfect. That's a good question, and just like a question that Umar asked, the objective of why do you need to do personal branding is the most important things to define in the first place. We always need to begin with the end in mind. If
Okay.
you're talking about branding a company or your businesses, that is something that you need to define for your business. What is your brand? What does this brand mean? What is your brand vision? But if you're talking about your personal, that goes back to how would you develop your personal presence?
Okay.
Means that how it, yeah.
So, my next question, since we are getting short of time as well, Angie, is that at times many of us, like for example, if I talk about the employees, they do really hard work. They know they have the competence. As I start in my analogy as well, they have all the competencies of arranging a party, doing all the things. But when it comes to the communicating, when it comes to telling the people that he or she is the right person for the job, that we fail to do somehow. What would you suggest to the employees to sort of brand themselves in their market, in the workplace that they're working in, effectively using the personal branding strategy?
Okay. I think in personal branding, consistency is one. If you're referring to employee, you are not just representing yourself, you are representing the company's brand as well.
Yes.
So that is important to align to the company's the values. Okay, and when you are working in the companies, do you believe what the company's brand visions or not? Are you aligned with the company's brand
All right. And
purpose?
so the
So
first
that is very important. If aligns, yeah, that's good.
The first
This
is sort of,
question, sorry.
the first is that you sort of align with the company vision or not. The second is consistency in your work, and the third.
Yeah, and yes, and as an employee, you need to perform in an organizations, regardlessly. Be good in what you do. You have to add values to drive the company's goal, right? How can you add values to the company so that you can achieve the organization and the goal? You need to be you need to perform, yeah,
All perfect.
in the organizations. Yeah.
Perfect. So meanwhile, I'll ask the participant if you have any other questions, please post it in the chat box or comments on the Facebook. We'll answer your questions. We have 10 more minutes to continue the discussion. So the questions are coming in already. So Angie, my question would be you, and before we go to the chat box and answer the questions, my question would be, for example, since we're discussing this personal branding strategy, and for the employees, and the objective is to just let the people know how it can help them in organization or the the workplace they're working in. For example, how to get noticed for your work, not in without being meaningful, sort of, or being sort of demanding or that sort of stuff. At times we do our work, but we do not get noticed for the someone else take the credit for our work that we have done or the employees have done. So how to get noticed for using this person branding strategy? What will you say on that?
Yeah, fantastic questions. Being a corporate employee as well, I always get this feedback. I've been doing so much, but no one noticed, right? But
Yeah.
what should you do about that? My question is, so what do you want to do next, right? So even though I always believe that even though we are pessimistic with our thinking, we have to always be optimistic with our action. What is the best thing you can do right now? Okay, now goes back to the first, how do I define personal brand, is about developing your personal presence. Have you ever noticed that some of people, when you are in a meeting room, one person just walk in, everybody will notice the person presence.
Yes.
But somebody, they are in the room, but nobody noticed.
They are sitting for the whole time, but nobody,
Yeah, so it was very sad, but it happens all the time. And this is the most important things why we need to have develop our personal brand, because this is how we develop our personal presence. And make your presence felt is not just about how you look. How you look, yes, but it is not sustainable. It is also how do you communicate and connect with people.
is also important. Great.
Yeah, but in order to do that, in order to look good and for you to connect and communicate with people confidently, it is all about giving people the confidence, and people wanted to listen to you, right? And
Right.
because what you want is to inspire and influence decisions.
Right.
And that's where your presence is felt. It goes back to establishing your identity, which is if you are not confident in yourself, you are unable. It's no matter how good you are with all the makeups and all those things, you're perfect. But the moment you speak, you can't have the confidence people have in you. That is that you feel your personal brand. And that's the reason why the topics for today is, a lot of people talk about personal branding, they straight away jump into how they look, because I've been in the image consultancy for quite some time. People always jump into the look. Yes, you can fix the look, but you will not be having a fit personal brand image if you didn't fix your self-image.
Right.
Because that will lead to your image, your visual image. You can, after you fix your self-image, right? Then it starts to discovering your personal style. Why do we need to do personal style? Your appearance is because through your experience, it helps to emphasize and enhance your character, and that's what makes you different from others, even before you start speaking.
All right.
Right? People felt your presence and people wanted to talk to you, connect with you, right? And that's where you started to communicate, build relationship, and that's where your personal trust and professional trust will come in. And over time, consistency, you will have the reputation. The trust is there. When people trust you, you don't even need to communicate. People will just give you business or opportunity.
All
so
right.
For personal branding is a journey. It's a journey. Yeah, but we need to start with identity.
It's a journey of long steps, and one has to start somewhere. and today is the day to start, to learn few steps and
Yeah.
all right. So going back to the question, we have only 6 minutes to go, Angie. So I'll request you to be brief
Time flies.
with the answers, and So the next question that we have from Ali Raza: how to position your brand effectively? I think we have discussed it. Or if you have to say something on this.
How do we brand our effectively is okay. It will take times. But what is important is you need to define the brand, your vision, and the purpose. Why do you need to do this? And then you story tell, right? It is not about pushing or hard sell. It is about using stories to inspire and influence people.
Right.
People will, yeah.
Effective way
and over time is to build the momentum, and your community will grow. It will take time, but your vibes attract your tribes.
Excellent. Thank you. That's an amazing step. The next question we have from Ahmed Hassan. His question is how to overcome country rules and regulation while starting personal brand. How to manage our brand in those areas lacking with social media or other online resources.
That's interesting questions.
Okay.
Yeah, you got me thinking.
You got me thinking. We'll get back to you on this later.
Yeah, but I always believe in this. It's regardless of what are the challenges you are facing right now. Ask yourself, what is the next best thing you can do right now?
All right.
Focus on the things. Just one small step, it will lead you to a bigger things. It will. So you just need to find out what is the things that you can do now to enhance your brand with these circumstances.
All right. Great. What is possible now? You can start with that, and later on things will unfold, for yourself. The next question is from a female, Ms. Tuba Rizvi. I would like to know how to promote my YouTube channel. It's an educational based video content channel and want to reach more audience and be noticed. Be noticed in the last word is, I think is the point of, so would you like to say something on this?
I think when it comes to YouTube channel, I'm not the expert in that area, but a lot of the things is, number one is you need to define what is the values that you want to bring out from this channel, the purpose and the values you want to add, and means it start with why. Why do you need? What is the purpose of your YouTube channel? And then you grow your community using the same concept we have discussed just now. And number three is leverage on technologies. If you have the capital, right? I mean, digital marketing is something that a lot of people are into it right now. So that is something that you can consider to leverage on the technology to reach out to more people.
All right.
Instead of waiting for organic growth. Yeah.
Yeah. The other question we have from Muhammad Abdullah, he's asking how personal branding is related to self-confidence. That's an interesting question, I think.
Yeah, you are your own brand. So you need to be confident before your brand can be grown. So it goes back to your self-image and your self-esteem. Yep, right. Why? And the question that we should ask ourselves if we are not confident is, what is holding us back? So we can identify which aspect of the brand image that we are lacking. For example, there are someone who is very competent, but this person just doesn't have the confidence. Why? Is it because of this person is not confident with how the person he or she looks? And that's where I go back to the aspect of visual image. Then we discover what are the style that what kind of things. There are techniques to that you do not need to do plastic surgery, but it's just the styling can help to enhance your visual image. That is part of one aspect of your personal brand. Yeah. So it goes back to, well, what makes you feel that you're not confident, and find out which aspect.
Absolutely. The one aspect that we have not covered, and I think that's the last question that we can answer for today, is thoughts on image branding as a student. Students also want to, they want to brand themselves because they are into the workplace, and the workplace is then drastically changing after COVID-19. What would you say how to brand themselves as a professional or, as a student?
Yeah, I think that is a great question. If I understand it correctly, is that how does the student would brand themselves, right?
Yes.
thoughts on image branding as a student, the earlier you start, the better, because personal branding is about first establishing your personal identity. And that will become your brand identity because you are your own brand. So even though we are students, we don't brand ourselves as students, right?
Yes.
What makes you different from others? So student is just a generic noun, right? But you should start as early as the earliest, the better, because the earlier your identity is your anchor in life, and it will guide you to navigate through life and make decisions
Absolutely.
that matters most to you in life.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
So Angie, we reached to the end of the time. We have so many other questions that are there, but I think we're short of time as promised. We have tried our level best to answer all the questions, but still are remaining. But we'll try to. What I'll say, as we mentioned in our start, this is just a brief session to let you know about the personal branding and how it can help you as a person, as an employee, as an entrepreneur, or if, as a student as well. If you want to know more about it, we are planning a full-fledged program for personal branding, 2 days program or 3 days program, where you can attend it live online program. Instructor Angie would be one of the facilitators for that program with us from Malaysia. She is already certified image consultant, and we can walk you through the course and how that investment can help you in your career or as an entrepreneur as well. And as they say, a brand that captures your mind gains behavior, and brand that captures your heart gains commitment. So we will make you a brand that that you can gain heart and gain commitment from the customer or from the people that you're working with. Angie, if you would like to say any two steps, actionable items, out of this discussion that we had in the last 30 minutes, any two action steps that if someone is not familiar with personal branding, and now people have
Okay.
it as well. So any two strategies that you would like to recommend them for a personal branding
All
that
right.
we're doing right now, which can
Sure.
later in the days to come.
Yeah, thank you so much for all the questions. And every second counts right now. So I think I'll go back to what is the actionable item. In order to get ahead, you need to get started. And when it comes to personal brand, it's all about redefining who you are, self-image. Without that, it is not sustainable. So to go back to the self-image, that's number one. Number two, it is not just about how you see yourself. It is how you brand and present and position yourself to the others. So getting feedback, if you do not know which areas you are lacking or what are your strengths, get feedback so that you can put the pieces and puzzles together and to look at where are you right now in terms of your personal image and brand. Then you can start to grow your brand from uh, fixing the areas that you are lacking at. So go back to defining and redefining who you are and what matters to you the most. The most important thing is your self-image. However, the outside can guide you and inspire you, but what you really need to search inside yourself in order to get to know what matters to you in life, because personal branding is a journey, it's a learning journey, and uh, you will evolve along the way. But if you do not take actions, you will not grow. It requires us to take actions to do what is the best thing you can do right now in order to grow your brand. Yeah.
Absolutely. Thank you, Angie. That's so insightful. And I really like the personal branding is a journey. It's not a one-time thing that you just do and things will happen overnight and you will become a brand. It's a long-term journey. And it's a long journey. And thank you everyone for joining us. It was an insightful session indeed for myself, and I hope it was helpful for you guys as well. I'm sharing my email address with you all in the chat box if you are interested to learn more about this program that we're planning for you guys. So please send me an email. We will get back to you with the complete detail. We will be running this program live online, and this would be a 2 days or 3 days program that you can join from anywhere across the world. So and will help you to become the brand that gains heart, which can gain commitment for the long period of time. So thank you, Angie, and thank you, everyone. It was a pleasure having you all here and interacting, listening to your conversation and questions. I'm very sorry for the people whose questions have not been answered due to lack of time. But inshallah, with once you get enrolled in our program, you'll see more of the what's inside this
Yeah.
learning thing.
And the best thing is we are all connected.
We're all
in
connected.
Today's open source era. Yeah.
One way or another, we're all connected. Absolutely. So thank you, everyone. We'll see you soon. And my email address is here. Send me an email, and we'll get back to you on that. Thank you, Angie. Have a great evening.
Okay, see you. Thank you, everyone. Thank you, Ali. Bye-bye. Have a good evening.
Bye.